World number one, Scottie Scheffler. He doesn't look as though he does it to the textbook, does he? With his dancing feet on the way through. But my word, it's unbelievably effective, and he's probably the best player since Woods dominated the scene. Looks like Scottie's almost going to do the same. But how on earth does he do it with those dancing feet, and why and how can it help you and your game? Before we start, don't forget, hit that link below to get on my website to get on the waiting list for lessons with myself here at Whittlebury Park Golf Club. Scottie Scheffler is taking the world by storm. He is world number one by an absolute country mile. Absolutely miles ahead of McIlroy, who's playing some pretty damn good golf. My word, Scottie is just another level. But so many people say, hang on, how the heck does he do it with his dancing feet? His feet are all over the place. He's losing balance all over the place. But we've been told in these textbooks, you've got to hold your balance. We've been told to make sure your lower body is fairly stable. But he's completely breaking the textbook mold. But how does he do it? And how can it help you? Here's what he does on that way through. His right side really slides through, and added into that comes rotation on the way through. So he's sliding his right leg, right hip towards his left leg whilst rotating through. And in the end, he looks as though he's all over the place. He looks as though he's almost going to fall over, and almost has done a couple of times in his career thus far, we've seen. But my word, it is effective. But how does he do it? And how can it help you? Main thing to learn here is his right side, how loose his right side is on the way through. You look back at old video footage of Greg Norman, for example, again, a former world number one. Watch his right foot, his right leg in particular, really shifts through, slides through towards the target. Why is this a great thing, and how can it help you? Well, the problem is I see so many amateur golfers get really stuck on their right side. If anything, their right side goes behind the ball, and that's when you can really either chunk it, or you can top that golf ball completely, or just pop it up in the air and slice it. So goal number one here, focus on that right side like old Mr. Scheffler, and make sure we're allowing that right side to slide through to make sure that club gets to the ground where it should be. Because if that right side doesn't slide through, we're going to career that club behind that golf ball. Secondly, have a look at where his feet are pointing on the way through. Almost his toes are pointing more towards that target there. Now, this is a little bit more specific on the way through, because I do see a lot of you, what I like to call spinning out of the way. Now, if this is you and you tend to slice the ball quite a bit or pull it quite badly, please don't try this at home. Don't copy Mr. Scheffler when you go to swing it, because the problem is you'll already more than likely spin your way to that golf ball. This is only really ideal for people who tend to hook the ball quite badly or struggle with their ground contact. So I want you to feel like you're turning out the way, so you feel like your hips are really spinning around in that circle on that way down and through. Again, why he does it is the feeling his left hip is moving out the way, so his club has the room and his hands has the room to come what we call around the corner, and to make sure he's keeping control of that club face, and to make sure he's keeping control of his low point. So if you struggle with a few fats, a few hooky ones as well, it's worth focusing on what Scottie Scheffler does. You've got to make sure your right side sliding with some rotation on that way through. Right side sliding, rotation. Right side sliding, rotation on that way through, to help you control that club face even at high speed, and control that low point even at high speed. So the contact will be better, the accuracy will be better, no matter how fast you swing it. Remember, Scottie Scheffler, he might not be doing by the textbook, but my word, it's wholly effective.